Jennifer Hudson shocked everyone, but not in the way people expected. For months, fans had been rooting for her relationship with Common, watching from the outside as what seemed like a mature, grounded love story quietly unfolded. It looked different from the usual Hollywood chaos. No loud drama, no messy headlines, just two grown adults finding comfort in each other. So, when whispers started spreading that Jennifer had turned him down, completely shut the door on something that looked so promising, it didn't make sense. People were confused. Some were even disappointed, because from the outside, this looked like a love story that was supposed to last.
I'm in a relationship that is with one of the most beautiful people I ever met in life. And she's smart, she loves God, she has something real down to earth about her. She's talented. But I set my standard kind of high because she had to have an EGOT. She she had to win an Oscar on her first movie. I set my standard high. She had to get her own talk show.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
But here's the twist. What Jennifer Hudson reportedly revealed behind closed doors painted a completely different picture. This wasn't just about incompatibility. It wasn't just about timing. According to sources, Jennifer saw something deeper, something she couldn't ignore. And once you hear the full story, you start to understand why she made the decision she did, even if it shocked the world. Because sometimes what looks perfect on the surface hides a truth that only one person is brave enough to walk away from. To understand how things reached this point, you have to go back, way before the rumors, before the headlines, before Jennifer Hudson became the woman who would quietly, but firmly, say no.
I'm a host, and so I have to ask you this question because everybody always want to know this. Are you dating anyone?
so yes, and I'm in a relationship that is with one of the most beautiful people I ever met in life. And she's smart, she loves God, she has something real down to earth about her. She's talented. Wait, what about you though? How's your love life?
Yeah, I'm dating this one, and I am very happy. Are you happy in your relationship?
Yes, this relationship is a happy place for me. It's like
I love
it's
that
like,
you use the word happy place.
no, but seriously, it's like for me, it's one of the things where I found where I can seeing her happy actually makes me really happy. So I'm very grateful. I thank God each and every day, and I'm just letting God guide this relationship.
Because God is in it, right?
God is in.
That's right.
Jennifer's life has never been simple. Her journey to success wasn't built on luck. It was built on pain, resilience, and survival. When she first stepped onto the stage of American Idol, she didn't even win. Most people counted her out, but what they didn't realize was that Jennifer had something deeper than a title. She had a voice shaped by real life, and real life hit her hard. The tragedy that took members of her family changed everything. It wasn't just a loss, it was the kind of heartbreak that reshapes who you are. Jennifer didn't just have to heal emotionally, she had to rebuild herself from the ground up. That kind of pain doesn't disappear, it stays with you, quietly influencing every decision you make, especially when it comes to love. So, when she later found herself in relationships, Jennifer wasn't looking for excitement or attention. She was looking for safety, stability, someone who felt real. Her relationship with David Otunga seemed to offer that at first. They built a life together, shared a child, and for years it looked like they had something solid. But behind the scenes, things weren't as peaceful as they appeared. Reports of emotional strain and tension eventually surfaced, leading to a painful breakup that left Jennifer even more guarded than before. That experience changed her. It made her more aware, more cautious, and less willing to ignore red flags. So, when Common came into her life, it wasn't just about romance, it was about trust. At first, everything seemed right. Common carried himself with confidence and calm energy. He spoke about growth, love, and self-awareness. To the public, he appeared evolved, like someone who had learned from past mistakes, and to Jennifer, that mattered.
He says the work he's doing on himself will help him fulfill a lifelong dream. And you write a lot about you want to be a husband one day. You have a rather famous relationship coach.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Michelle Obama, she has definitely helped talk me through just certain moments of relationships. We had conversations, and she has given me a lot of wisdom. But one great thing that she told me as I was going through this journey was that you have to understand you're not going to get anybody that's perfect because you're not perfect. So understand that there's some certain things that you will compromise in choosing that partner. But as long as the core values, the values that are most important to you, that person, marks off on that list, then you good.
She gave some good advice there.
That's good wisdom.
Their connection reportedly started as a friendship. They worked together, spent time together, and slowly, something deeper formed. It wasn't rushed, it wasn't flashy. It felt intentional. Fans loved it. They saw two successful, respected individuals coming together in a way that felt mature. No games, no chaos, just a connection that seemed grounded. But what nobody expected was that Jennifer wasn't seeing the same picture everyone else was. Behind the scenes, questions started forming, and those questions didn't come out of nowhere. If you look at Common's past, a pattern begins to emerge. Over the years, he's been linked with several high-profile women: Erykah Badu, Taraji Harry Henson, Serena Williams, Angela Rye, and Tiffany Haddish. Each relationship seemed meaningful at the time. Each one had its own story, but none of them lasted. At first, people brushed it off. Relationships end, that's normal. But over time, the consistency of those endings raised eyebrows. It wasn't just that the relationships ended, it was how they ended. Some of his exes hinting at emotional distance. Others suggested that things weren't always what they seemed behind closed doors. There were quiet suggestions of inconsistency, of someone who knew how to present himself well publicly, but struggled with deeper emotional connection. Jennifer noticed that, and she didn't ignore it. But here's where things take a turn. According to reports circulating online, Jennifer allegedly began to question aspects of Common's personal life that didn't align with the image he presented. There were whispers, unconfirmed but persistent, that suggested he might not have been fully honest about certain parts of himself. Some claims even claim that Jennifer suspected he was hiding his true identity, including speculation about his sexuality. Now, to be clear, these claims have never been publicly confirmed, and they remain allegations. But what matters in this story isn't whether the rumors are true, it's that Jennifer believed something wasn't adding up. And belief is powerful. Because once doubt enters a relationship, it changes everything. Jennifer reportedly started noticing small things, interactions, behaviors, moments that didn't feel right to her. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, just subtle inconsistencies that slowly built into something she couldn't ignore. At first, she tried to understand. She gave him the benefit of the doubt. After everything she'd been through, Jennifer wasn't looking to walk away at the first sign of trouble. She wanted clarity. But clarity never came. Instead, the uncertainty grew. And then came the moment that changed everything. There were reports that Common was ready to take the next step, that he saw a future with Jennifer and was willing to commit in a way he hadn't before. For someone with his history, that was a big deal. It suggested growth, maturity, and a willingness to finally settle down. From the outside, it looked like the perfect turning point. But Jennifer didn't see it that way. Because by that time, her trust had already started to crack. So when the question was raised, when the possibility of something permanent came into the picture, Jennifer made a decision that stunned everyone. She said no. Not loudly, not dramatically, just firmly. And that quiet rejection spoke louder than anything else. Because for once, Common wasn't the one walking away. He wasn't the one deciding when the relationship ended. This time, the choice was taken out of his hands. And according to sources, he didn't take it well. People close to the situation claimed that he was caught off guard. After years of being in control of his relationships, he wasn't used to being the one left behind. It challenged his image, not just publicly, but personally. And that's when the conversation around Jennifer's decision really began to grow. Some people supported her completely. They saw a woman protecting her peace, refusing to ignore her instincts, and choosing herself over uncertainty. Others questioned her decision. They wondered if she had misjudged him, if the rumors had influenced her too much, or if fear from her past had played a role. But Jennifer stayed silent. She didn't go online to explain herself. She didn't give interviews breaking down her decision. She simply moved on. And sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Because the truth is, Jennifer Hudson didn't need to convince anyone. She had already lived through enough to know what she was willing and unwilling to accept. The emotional impact of the situation runs deeper than just a breakup. For Jennifer, this wasn't just about Common. It was about everything she had been through leading up to that moment. Every loss, every heartbreak, every lesson. Walking away wasn't easy. It never is, especially when the world is watching and expecting a different outcome. But Jennifer chose something many people struggle with. She chose certainty over confusion. She chose peace over potential. And that decision reflects a level of growth that doesn't come overnight. For Common, the situation may have been just as impactful, but in a different way. Being rejected, especially when you're not used to it, forces a kind of self-reflection that can't be avoided. It raises questions, it challenges identity, it pushes you to look inward in ways you might not have before. Whether he embraced that reflection or resisted it is something only he knows, but what's clear is that this moment shifted the narrative. Because suddenly, the man who was often seen as the one in control of his relationships found himself on the other side of the story, and that changes how people see you. In the end, this isn't just a story about rumors or rejection. It's a story about intuition, about the quiet voice inside that tells you when something doesn't feel right, even when everything looks perfect on the outside. Jennifer Hudson listened to that voice. And that's what makes the story powerful. Because in a world where people often stay in situations out of fear, pressure, or hope that things will change, she did something different. She walked away. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Not every relationship is meant to last, no matter how perfect it seems. Not every person who looks right for you is actually right for you. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say no, even when the whole world expects you to say yes. Because at the end of the day, peace is something you protect, not something you gamble. And Jennifer Hudson made it clear she's no longer willing to gamble with hers.